Thank you for the introduction. So I'm Markus from Teiimo. I'm by training a semiconductor technologist and work in the field of wearables since quite some years. So with Teiimo, we are working on a remote monitoring system which is based on garments, so the garments become now a medical device. If you think about our vision, what we aim to do is improve patients' life and help the doctors with their diagnosis and their care of the patient. Our mission is we are creating an intelligent garment with smart functionality, and one of the aims is you should not feel that you're wearing something like this. It's very thin, integrated with new technology, such that we can measure and capture biometric data and transmit, work on the data, and in case we need, we can send alerts or information to a remote location. Our goal is to improve the life and to give the doctors a database with a clear view on their patient's health. The problem today that we encounter always, especially during COVID, the diagnosis very often is based on patient's daily form. He is visiting his doctor, the doctor is checking him, and he gets an image on what's going on now. So there may be infrequent snapshots on which a decision is taken. A high number of patients per doctor, and especially also when we look in Germany, it's a growing number, so the doctors are more and more pressured and have a less good view on their patients. Then we have a growing need of hospital beds and also in parallel a growing number of chronic diseases and patients who need more care. What we do is we give a complete picture on the patient health because the garment can be worn on a daily basis. We establish a baseline. And when the doctor checks the baseline with some pre-evaluated data, he saves time and has a good view of what's going on in the patient's life. This can go fast, and I come to this a bit later. So there is also better communication between care providers because what we have is a database where you can exchange information. Reduction of time in hospital. When you have good data of a patient, you can send him home earlier, especially in case, for example, let's speak of a stroke patient. The aim of the doctors is to send them home in their normal environment as soon as possible, and even in the intensive care unit, they would like them to walk as soon as they can walk to get back in the normal life. The big challenge is once they are up out of the bed or at home, they don't get any data anymore, and with a smart garment, we can provide this information. The increase in numbers of available beds, of course, is important, and what we are focusing in is the usability and the comfort for the end user and the doctor. The importance here is that we have a completely automated data tagging system where we record multidimensional data. We have a high wear comfort, and if you wear an underwear, so we are working on a second skin on a base layer, so it's not stigmatizing because nobody will see it. On the functionality today, we have motion. We can give you a clear motion picture, what he's doing on posture and different activities. Cardio data, we have a medical ECG integrated, and we are working for the final integration of blood pressure and blood oxygenation. This is all what we can measure today with a base layer as a second skin. Our focus is on the left side of this picture very much, so we do the electronics, the garments, and the integration with the algorithm, have a transmission path to a cloud system. And there on the cloud system, we have an API where we partner with different people. Why we partner, you will see in our business setup. And for example, when we do a garment, which is a 12-channel ECG, it can look like this. This is a garment doing a stress ECG on a patient. This is a live transmission of his data. We are storing the data in high resolution, so it can be uploaded to the cloud later. And if needed, we can transmit this information live. So this is really the live situation of a T-shirt doing a 12-channel ECG. The little electronic box on the top is doing the data analysis and the recording. Our target use cases today is the stroke prevention and the stroke care, the heart diseases that we have, and also past operation or intervention, lung diseases, COPD, which was very difficult for the COPD patients during the COVID especially, because they were very vulnerable and they didn't see their doctors very often. Having a T-shirt which records their data gives a huge advantage in the treatment. And then we have many other use cases in hospitals we are talking to, but basically it's always the same system, and we go into an interface where we provide the information. If we look at the competition, of course, people say there's a lot of competition, fitness trackers, smartwatches, but by first, they are not medical devices today. We have chest patches and classical ECG, but they cannot provide all the information we can provide with a T-shirt. We have a user friendliness which is superior to all the others, a medical precision because we work with medical electronics, which is then gathering the signals, and we have a non-stigmatizing solution because you wear it as your T-shirt, your base layer, your underwear. And so therefore we differentiate well from the classic competition. Of course, competition in this field could also be seen in the remote monitoring area, where you give a patient 4 or 5 devices and tell him every evening, in the morning, you measure this device, then that device, then that device, and then you upload all the data, which is really time consuming, and also some of the patients, they won't adopt the process fully. So this is all things which talk for a wearable system. Our key partners and also customers, so we have an interface here with hospitals, physicians, practitioners, insurances, software companies, medical companies, especially the ones who do a complete system or infrastructures for providing the information to doctors and the hospitals. So there's big software companies, and as a small company today, we won't change the software used by doctors or the infrastructure in the hospital. This means here we align to have a faster access to market and a better focus for where we can change things. A key impact today is really the growing number of patients, aging society. The rest, I think we have talked already, and key takeaways from the market, especially with respect to the remote monitoring markets. We have a very strong growth. This is a huge market, and we have a congratulated average growth of 30% predicted in the US from 21 to 28, and in Europe also. It's a new market. It's a challenging part because some of the reimbursement systems are not ready yet, but all the different countries are working on it, that such systems, and especially digital support systems, can be reimbursed in the future. There's already good examples. So what we have done now, we are self-funded. We did develop the technology. We validated in sports, also in triathlon, so we had very good data. And this is also where the medical story started, because we were checking our algorithms with the doctors, and when they saw what the T-shirt is doing, they reminded us that how they do a 24-hour ECG today and how cumbersome these devices are and how difficult it is for them to use it on the patients. And this is where we started working with the doctors. So we did win a Fast Forward Award in 2018 already and continued the development of our technology suited for the medical area. We are now in a big research project on KDT, where we are focusing on measuring the pregnant mothers and also later on babies. So we are aiming for a higher integration level even than we have today. And what we need to do now for us, this is a big part where we are seeking also support now, because we have to do the complete validation of the technology in the medical field. The QS 13485 quality system for our company and the product certification and the market entry is planned for 2025. So this is what we are aiming for. And this means also for us, we are seeking support also from investors to grow, because we need to grow faster. The technology base is there, but the growth today we have to accelerate. We are a very small team, and this is our outlook. So we are seeking today, still in seed, for the next year about 500,000 euros. Like I say, we need people who focus on the quality and the medical certifications. And we will successfully operate in the medical validations here. And test against all the medical gold standards and do field tests, invest in our technology. We are at the moment transferring our technology into a huge manufacturing site that we can do volume. We have a partner on board there. And strengthen our operating team, which is for what we aim to do too small today. And yeah, the certification of the company will take quite some effort. So for us, these are things we have to do. I think everybody here agrees that things like this are doable. On the other hand, we know it's a lot of work, and this is why we are opening up one investment round now for seed to accelerate, and we will be ready for next investment round once we have reached our bigger milestone. So I would say thank you very much for listening today, and I look forward to talking to some of you who may be interested in this. And if not, if ever you have somebody in the surrounding who may need a shirt like this or some technology like this will help, please talk to us. We are happy to support. Thank you.